good start for the day. So the kids will come out and they'll say, look what I've got.
Wow, that's a good idea.
It's really cool.
put her, she's gonna have to start taking that insulin shot right now after 2 years of that.
Oh, wow.
She's gonna have to start taking insulin shots now.
So quiet here. I know. Quiet.
You did. I was like, she is cutting it close.
Yes, 30 seconds. What is that?
I know, I was texting her like. It's almost time.
All right, it is time. We're gonna go ahead and call our regular meeting of the Wayne County Board of Education to order. It's 6 o'clock. And we'll say the pledge. Randy, you care to read us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record show that all board members are present in person except for Mr. Ashworth, who's joining us by phone this evening. And I don't think we have any recognitions this evening, do we?
No.
So we can move to our presentations this evening, our academic spotlight with Mountaineers moving up and Ms. Newsom.
Well, we have a new addition to our school this year. We have a class, and maybe someone's standing in place. We have a new class, and it's a digital media class taught by Miss Jenny Chung. And so when I told her that we were presenting, her class took it on as a project. So we have something we would like to share with you, and this is completely made by Miss Jenny Chung and her students.
You guys all see okay?
Turn a little bit.
Turn a little bit.
Thank you.
Here we go. Okay.
Stiff neck on.
We believe success in this moment, and every day we are climbing high. Welcome to Chrome Creek Create. We are Willow and Autumn, and we are proud representatives of a culture built on character and academic excellence. Now let us show you what we around this on the move.
At Chrome, we believe that academic success starts with strong character. When you walk through our halls, you can feel the Chrome Creek home. Our house system based on Vermont Park Academy provides a deep sense of belonging, building unity, and unity.
The house system mixes all of our pre-K-8 students across our 4 houses. Revere, Isabindi, Amistad, and Al Turismo. The older Mountaineers become natural mentors for the smaller kids. We use the house point system to earn points for things like academic achievement, good character, school spirit, outstanding performances, attendance, growth, effort, and other categories that fits right into our positive behavior interventions and supports. Not to mention our friendly house competitions that take place throughout the school year. We are 4 houses, but 1 team. We push ourselves, but we always celebrate each other's successes.
It goes beyond that. Our teachers use the Essential 55 to teach us things like how to use proper manners, how to have respectful conversations, and how to win and lose graciously.
After our student athletic program, we're models of student success.
These activities not only drive individual progress, instilling discipline, time management, and leadership skills, but also build a stronger community by fostering confidence, self-esteem, and lasting relationships with both adults and youth. Eligibility is tied to maintaining the high standards expected of student athletes. A required GPA, consistent attendance, and exemplary conduct are all required to be representative of our school.
We are proud that we are not just teaching subjects, we are building responsible and accountable citizens.
Every Mountaineer needs a strong support system. We benefit from personalized resources right here at school. We utilize morning and after-school tutoring and benefit from our specialized Title I intervention services for targeted academic help. And our no-zero policy allows us to complete missing assignments, teaching us responsibility and follow-through while ensuring our grades reflect our knowledge. Social and emotional support is offered through our school counselor and social worker. Our school is backed by strong community partners like Starting Points, who host monthly literacy nights, and the Dunlow Community Center, which serves as a crucial outreach for our families.
The foundation of our instruction is teacher excellence and collaboration. Learning here isn't just listening, it's doing. We are providing project-based learning to extend our knowledge.
Student collaboration is huge. Our construction, agriculture, and art classes team up on amazing seasonal projects. It's cool to see different classes come together to make something real. And in the classroom, we do things like math labs, science projects, and STEM activities. We are constantly building, debating, and discovering across all subjects. Collaboration teaches us how to lead and how to be a valued part of a successful team. Middle school is all about finding our path. Our fantastic CTE and exploratory classes are giving us hands-on skills for the future.
The challenge in our engineering class is real. We don't just assemble kits, we face complex challenges like coding, building, and problem solving to make our robots the best.
We use cutting-edge technology like 3D printers, engravers, and computer programs for graphic design. We've made shirts, hats, banners, or end-of-the-year trophies, and
This preparation has helped our Vex Robotics team to compete in the state among some of the best.
That young lady plays 4 sports and does
And last year
robotics
we
on the
placed third
weekends.
place in the state West Virginia competition.
My woodworking class teaches me hands-on math projects and everything, get the right measurements. And if I don't get the right measurements, then it won't fit right with my woodworking. So like this bench, it is used as a low power wood, something that people would like to use as old firewood, scrap wood. And we used it and made real bitter screws and stuff, and we stained it. And then this is like the treasure when we make next. The skills I'm learning now will like help me in the future, and maybe it can help my kids and their kids. And sometimes it can be hard to measure it, but you'll get there.
Agriculture class teaches life skills and how to grow our own food.
We use the greenhouse to sprout seeds when it's cold and then move them to our garden beds to sell them to the families in the community. also learn about sustainability by making your own rich soil through composting. This class gives me hands-on experience and teaches me valuable skills like patience and resourcefulness that I will use for life.
The digital media class is a key part of preparing our students for any career they choose. In the digital world we live in, being able to create and manage information is just as important as reading and writing. Our students are learning to communicate clearly using more than just words. They are responsible for making and sharing all of our school's information, designing professional posters, flyers, and calendars, and capturing and editing photos and videos of events. Every single career today requires comfort and skill with digital tools and online communication. By running our school's communication, students are practicing the exact skills needed in fields like marketing, business, education, and technology. This class teaches them to use technology effectively and responsibly. Learning to manage information and create quality digital content is a fundamental skill that will help them succeed in high school, college, and any job that they will ever choose. We are currently planning to add a home economics class next year to further build essential life skills.
So, how effective is all this technology? The data proves that we're still behind.
We are very proud that our school has earned an overall 4-star rating, and even more impressive, the top set full is in the school, earning a 5-star rating in our SES subgroups. The teachers focus on what we need, students can succeed.
At Crump Pre-K, our growth is built on focusing on equity and instruction and excellence for every student, using data not to grade, but as a guide for our instruction. That success is powered by our staff's commitment to constantly improving their teaching methods. We ensure fiduciary responsibility by strategically selecting and investing in evidence-based training. We completed the Letters for Administration course with First in Accounting in January of 2024. This training directly supports our literacy goals and our strategic plan, and our staff uses vertical planning and PLCs to guarantee a cohesive, strategic academic journey from pre-K through 8th grade, a sustained return on instruction.
Being pioneers on the move means we never settle, we are always invested in our future. Next year, our new outdoor sports facility with locker rooms and a concession stand should be in place. We are getting a brand new swing set on the playground. We are expanding our reach programs with family table trainings for parents on supporting literacy at home. We are starting a volunteer reading program to connect with community leaders for our read aloud with our students.
From our foundation of community to commitment of academic excellence, Crump Pre-K is always focused on learning. Thank you for joining us on this journey.
We are Pioneers on the Move. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
It's a busy place.
That is fantastic.
Well, one of our goals this year was to improve our communication with our community. We really wanted to build more bridges, and we've been working on that for a while. And so what we decided to do was share the good things that are going on in our school, because the majority of these things have been happening for years.
Right.
It's just that we're so busy in the day doing the things that we do that we don't always communicate that well. But this class has allowed us to improve that, and we're doing the work, the kids are doing the work.
Right.
So really what people want to see is they want to see what their children, what their grandchildren are doing, and that's their investment in the school, and I think that we've accomplished that here. We just have wonderful things going. We still have plans for the future. We were talking about the playground. We've got our swing ordered. Once we get that and our fencing up, that will be completed. We'll finish up our field with the facility and hopefully fencing in the near future. That will be finished. I was talking to Missy in the beginning, and I said, I'm just a couple of years away from retirement. Ms. Vance, I think, is leaning in that direction too. So we've been sitting and making our lists of big projects that need to be completed before we call it a day. So that's where we're looking at this point, just making sure that, you know, when we hand the school off to whoever steps into those positions, that things are finished and that we're in a really good place. And right now we are. We're just academically, we're in a good, strong position, always hoping to grow. We're never good enough. You know, as long as there are children that aren't at mastery, we're never good enough. And so that's always our goal. But we feel like that we're doing great things, and we're glad that we were able to share that with you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Picture of you guys. And,
Excellent.
Let me go back to your title page so that I can update our homepage on the board site.
And while you're getting that picture, I'm going to let the folks that are online know that there's a problem with the stream. I know it's working properly now, but it's getting ready to shut down. So those of you that have joined us on the live stream, I'm going to have to restart the stream. So if you'll log back in, same place that you originally logged in, we're going to restart the stream now so that your stream doesn't get interrupted. Thank you.
Need to run our technology sometimes.
Hate to lose our fan base.
Okay, I think we're fine.
We're back up.
Yep.
All right. Let's moving on to our news section of the agenda. Anyone have any specific good news that they want to share other than what we've already this evening?
We had some wonderful meals at the schools for
Yes.
Thanksgiving and down at Wayne High School today.
Yes, we did.
We had a chance to go down and help serve students, and then the meal was fantastic. And
Rub it in.
I told Kathy, those sweet potatoes and the turkey
Mm-hmm.
with the stuffing and the sweet potatoes.
Yeah, I didn't get to taste that. So yeah,
It was
keep telling me.
it was quality, and the kids really appreciated it.
Oh, I saw some pictures. I was pretty jealous myself. So
And of course, Johnita enjoyed it.
I really did. I really did. Not the sweet potatoes, I'm just saying, but everything else.
right,
You don't like
you're
sweet
not a
potatoes?
sweet potato person.
No,
Thank you.
It was fantastic.
it was.
And we appreciate the invite, and thank you for letting us help with the kids.
And I was glad I got to see a lot of kids I knew. And the teacher, everything, the kids were so well behaved and everything. It was really nice.
Right.
A lot of them eating too, weren't they?
Busy day.
Big crowd, yeah.
Last week I got a call from Dave Cottle to inform me that all of his firefighting students had passed the first module of Firefighter 1 for the state of West Virginia. They all passed CPR, and they all passed hazardous material identification. So that's pretty good when you're batting 1,000.
Right.
That is good.
Yeah, I did see some photos of them getting to use the ladder truck.
I
And
told Todd I didn't want him to see that.
I'm sure all safety measures
They
were
were,
taken.
but it was 75 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
The on the athletic side of things, we had the Spring Valley High School volleyball team advance to the Final Four in the state. They lost in the semifinal match, but they had a very good season. And then the Spring Valley High School cheerleaders made it to the state competition. I believe that was took place yesterday.
Mhm.
I haven't seen any results
Third
from
place. They took
Third
third.
place.
Mhm.
Okay.
Third place for their division. So
that. Tulsa High School made it to the football playoffs, and they had to travel to Wheeling to play, and they lost in that first round. But Wheeling Central was one of the top-rated teams in the state.
yeah.
And then Spring Valley High School won their first playoff round, and they play again at home Saturday night at 7.
Yeah.
So-
Robert C. Byrd is their competitor this weekend. So that should be a good game.
Yeah.
Wayne's volleyball girls, how far did they go, Kathy? Was it regional or did they get eliminated in the first round of the?
They went the first round. I don't know
Okay.
what
Okay.
that is. But
Yeah, but they had a good season also.
Yeah, they made it out, so that's good. All right. Moving on to our informational items then. No school, November 24th to the 28th. That's our Thanksgiving break. A special meeting on Tuesday, December 2nd, beginning at 4 at Buffalo Elementary, and then Buffalo Middle to follow, beginning at 5. Regular meeting on Tuesday, December the 9th, here in the board conference room at 6 o'clock. Regular meeting on Tuesday, December 16th, 6 o'clock again here in the board conference room. And then no school, December 22nd through January 1st. That'll be the Christmas break.
There's a small chance I may be calling in on December 2. I've got a hearing up in Clarksburg that morning.
Okay,
It should be over in time, but
right. Just let us know. We'll take care of you. All right, we can move on to our construction project updates.
On the Buffalo project, we have received the development and design drawings for the project. And our construction management services are reviewing those designs. We'll be meeting, I think, during the first week of December to prepare those for submittal to the state. So things are moving along there. Other than that, no additional updates.
Okay. No, I don't think we have any delegations this evening. So we can move on to our superintendent reports.
Yeah, so you have in front of you, you have a handout that says general fund budget planning. And Jeb and I have continued to work this week on the on target numbers. And we have a new target number for reduction this year. And unfortunately, that number is higher than what we had previously estimated. We were at 3.3 million, and we think it's going to take more like 4.2 million in reductions for the budget for next year. And where that came from, we had received some additional monies for ECATs for third grade, but because of the enrollment loss last year, our overall personnel funding had dropped, even though we received approximately $675,000 for those additional positions. The enrollment loss was greater than that, and we actually had a drop of about $300,000 in personnel. So our funding for service personnel was up, but our funding for professional was low. So when it comes down to it was lower, and was lower to such a significant amount that it dropped the overall number to a negative. So 4.2 million is what we're looking at. At the last meeting, I told you that we would speak more about this evening. We have went through all the schools, services, et cetera, to identify cuts and for the coming year. And I just wanted to give you an update on where we are. So under number one, we've talked about some of this information before, but the first bullet there talks about the prior deficit from fiscal year 25. So last year's deficit was $900,000. We were in the red on the budget. So new pressures for the upcoming year we're projecting a loss of state aid of approximately 1.5 million. And again, we will not know that exact number until the final computations come out. We're expecting the preliminary computations. Jeb, is it in December that we normally get those?
It's normally December, but they've been going probably up to more of January.
Okay. So we're expecting a loss of about 1.5 million in state aid because of the enrollment loss for this year. As I told you before, we're trying to free up approximately 2.3 million for construction projects that are beginning next year. This year's budget had already had an overall decrease of $324,000 in state revenue. And then we offsetting those deficits, we had taken personnel action last year that had resulted in a reduction of approximately $810,000.
Todd, can I interrupt you just a second?
Sure.
I think there's a typo. The additional loss in state revenue, at least on my copies, that was 324,630.
Yes.
1,000.
Okay,
Yeah. There should have been a decimal there.
Gotcha.
that was really scaring me.
Yeah. So if you factor all that together, you take the 900,000 deficit plus the 1.5 million that we're anticipating losing this year because of the enrollment drop, plus the 2.3 needed for construction, plus the deficit that had occurred in this year's funding due to enrollment loss, and then subtracting out from that the improvements, the $810,000 in improvements in personnel cuts, that leaves the number at about 4.2 million. So if you go on down to item number 2, you'll see cuts that we've identified over the last several weeks. Now, usually we do this work in January, but again, we've started this work early because of the implications for facilities. So we've identified approximately $187,000 in contracts that can be made. Service positions, we've identified approximately $371,000 in reductions there. Teacher positions, we've identified a potential $523,000 in reductions. And then administrative reductions, we've identified a number close to $291,000. So the total reductions on page 2 that we've identified is approximately $1.3 million. In addition, the board has been working to get rid of some excess properties, and so we're going to realize the savings there. That'll actually go above the $29,000 because there'll be some insurance costs that are saved there as well. So that goes to the good side of the ledger. Number 4 is any positions that have been added since the certified list. And you'll see that we've had to add, everything is really special needs based or state classroom size based. So we've had to add a pre-K special needs teacher. That was at Crum. We've had to add 2 autism mentors because of severe needs in special education classrooms. We've added an additional autism mentor that will be coming up soon, probably on your next agenda, down at Tulsa High School, that is needed for special needs. And then we've added a half a cook at Buffalo Elementary School because of that, and that will be coming up on your next agenda because of the number of meals that are coming out of the kitchen there, which is a good thing. But those new costs and personnel are about $270,000.
And if I understand it, not that I'd be against doing this, but we don't even have a choice under the law, do we? We've got to add these on special needs.
Correct.
There's no.
And this goes back to that discussion we were having during the legislative session about, if there needs to be a fund for students who do not fit the normal staffing ratios.
Right.
Because
There's
those costs just eat you up.
exactly. You have to provide it, whether you have it or not. So
moving down to, so there's $270,000 in additional costs there. So moving down to the net effect versus that, roughly 4.2 million goal. If you apply the new reductions and the funding shifts that we talked about, we're going to be able to reduce that number by 1.3 million in recurring savings. And so that leaves about 2.8 million left. You factor in utility savings, and again, that number is going to be a little bit higher with the insurance. That's going to leave around 2.82 million that needs to be saved. But we have to factor in that 270,000 in additional costs that we've picked up because of those special needs, which takes us back up to about $3 million. So the total new, number 6, basically where we stand, again, you've got the savings that have been identified. When you look at the numbers still required to meet the 4.2 million goal, you're just slightly over $3 million. So we need to identify approximately, that 3.09 million in additional recurring reductions or shift revenue to other funding sources besides the general budget. So when you look at that number that we're trying to get to, that 3 million number, talking about facilities, we have 3 million left to get to, and we've already, in the planning, we've already reduced, approximately 1.3
Right.
or 1.13. So there's still a lot left to put into the planning phase to get to that 3 million number. So we've had discussions back in 2019. We had hearings on the possible closure of Dunlow and Genoa. If those facilities were closed, we would save approximately $1.7 million. Now, even if both of those facilities were closed, there's still more planning work that has to occur between now and the end of January to get the budget balanced out. We'd still have about 1.3 million in cuts that needed to be made, which is basically doubling what we've already identified.
Right.
If option B would be to consider consolidation, and if you consolidated the two schools, the recurring savings would drop to about $900,000. And that would leave us about, looking at the next bullet, the remaining gap would leave us about 2.1 million that we would have to cut, which you're doubling the additional cuts that you would have to make if you keep one of the buildings open.
Right.
And consolidate the two. So
That's ugly.
yeah, there's considerable work that needs to be done there. So I went down and met with the staff of Genoa and Dunlow this afternoon, and I've explained the numbers to them, and I've made it. I did discuss the fact that if there was any way to get to that number and to keep the schools consolidated, that we would do that. But seeing as how we've already identified 1.3 million in cuts, and we have another million to go, and it would be 2 million if we consolidated the schools. I don't know how it's possible. So I think that we're going to have to move forward with the process of looking at the future of the two facilities. So what I will do is on your December 9th regular meeting, I will ask you to authorize me to schedule public hearings and to prepare an impact statement so we can review it and look at the actual impact of the closure of the two buildings going forward. And so that would be on the December 9th agenda. And again, you're not approving anything at that point. You're just authorizing me to schedule the hearings. But I really don't think that in looking at the numbers and the work that's already been done, and we're going to continue to look at, we have to identify another million regardless.
Right.
So we're going to continue to look at cost saving measures. But I really think that we're at the point where we do not have a choice. We're going to have to move forward with the facilities, and at the very least, they would be consolidated. So those hearings need to take place.
I have a question on, as I look at these autism mentors and so forth, those positions, and I may know the answer, but I don't think I do. Are those funded through the Office of Special Programs?
Some of them are.
How can we, I would like to request the operating budget for Office of Special Programs, all of the administrative costs and the people that are actually paid through that and what we get from the federal, state levels and what we are, how that's being divided out. I want to see the budget for that particular department. Yes.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. I have looked at that. On average in across the nation, you have between 80 to 90% of the budget is of the special needs budget goes for personnel. So that's what we took a specific look at that. Our budget right now, I believe, is at 93% of that budget is going for personnel. And some of the funding shifts that I identified earlier on, I've asked them to pick up some additional positions to pull them off the general budget. So it would actually go a little bit higher than 93%, but we'll pull the exact numbers for you and show you where that money's going.
And at some point, and I know I'm requesting a lot here, but at some point I would like to see each department with an operating budget. I would like to see that broken down into every department, the maintenance, attendance, everything that is departmentalized. I'd like to see a breakdown of the people that are paid underneath that and what the funding for it is.
Yeah, as we're planning for the additional amount that has to come out. Yeah,
Right.
We'll go through all that with a fine tooth comb.
Just like to take a look at it.
Sure. Any other questions?
When we have some of these mentors and other positions that come out of the federal funds, is that their benefits as well? Everything for them, or is it just the salary itself?
What's the question?
The positions that are coming out of the federal funds, that includes their benefits?
It
Yeah,
does. So even though we're over formula with all these individuals, we're not getting dinged on the general budget for that as well. It's all federal funds. Okay.
Hey, I would like to ask a question.
Sure.
I've never been in the legislature, so I don't know, but over the many years, during the times I was teaching, and now since I've been on the board, we keep getting these cuts and we keep getting our amounts that we get reduced. And it's happening all over the state. What happens to that money that we don't get? What's the legislature doing with that? And is that something they should consider? I don't know. It seems like that we're just getting suffocated.
Yeah, I understand your question. I know that the funding that they're providing to the districts, the school funding formula is tied to student enrollment.
Right.
And so the reason that it's being reduced everywhere is because enrollment is dropping most everywhere.
Yes, but the legislature, they're putting less money in. Are they diverting it somewhere for some special little project or something?
Well, I think with the student enrollment drop, I think you also have an overall population drop. And I think anytime that you have that overall population drop as well, that the revenue at the state level would be going down. But Mark, you want to?
That's true. And the other thing is the budget for the West Virginia Department of Education is massive. I talked about it a little bit in our legislative meeting the other night. There's 600, and you can't quote me on this, but there's 600 some employees in the Department of Education. If the legislature, this is my opinion, been there, so I kind of know how it works a little bit. If they would look at that school funding formula and try to do something to streamline that Department of Education in Charleston, where we come down to a more local control, I'm all about that. I really am. I think that we know better what's going on in Wayne County. What goes on in Wayne County is not the same thing that's going on in Kanawha or up in the Eastern Panhandle, where, the things are so different.
But I also think that the legislature has not taken into consideration the problems with the local schools and funding for public schools. It seems like they're interested in other things.
It's been that way for
years. Get more funding out of them, Mark?
It's been that way since 2000 when I was there the first time. There's been very little change.
It's unfortunate that we've invited them, we've discussed it with them, we've given them our opinions and even our possible solutions, but
Mark,
we're still at the same spot.
with student population going down in that Department of Education, is it going down any?
No, that was
what
my
I
point, Randy.
suspect.
That's an issue that I have. That's the reason I've been somewhat critical, for lack of a better word, but when you streamline and we have to cut positions and we have to lay teachers off, and I've said this 100 times in board meetings, maybe close to it anyway. When we take away a person that's in contact with these students every day and leave those positions that are getting paid 4 times as much as what our teachers and our cooks and our custodians and our bus driver are getting paid, there's something wrong with that. I mean, we know that our state is an aging population, our population is down. We know that our tax base is not what it used to be and all that thing, but that school funding formula can be fixed. In 2022, we were like 3 votes shy of the education committee of presenting a new plan where some things would be more focused on the smaller counties, because it's not just us. I mean, there's some that's in worse shape than we are as far as student population. But until they get a majority and until we can do something at that level, this is the hand we've been dealt. And I told Todd today, I said, it doesn't look like it's going to
Change anytime soon.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's frustrating. I mean, this is kind of gut wrenching what we're having to look at right now.
Yes.
And I'm already kind of the pessimist in me. Next year, the year after that, it's going to be
It's just more of the
repeat
same.
and repeat.
Stop.
More of the same.
Well, I know in 2017, the enrollment was over 7,000. And we're setting at,
57.
58.
yeah, roughly 5,800 now. And we are still one of the larger districts in the state. So to your point that this is occurring in multiple places, and I mean, every morning I turn on the radio as I'm getting ready to come to work, you hear closure hearings. And I think they said last year there was a historical number of closures in the state, and that number is continuing this year. And we're just at the point where our enrollment has fallen to the point where we cannot operate. We cannot operate 18 buildings. And to your point about what happens next year and the year after, we mentioned this, once before, but there's going to be more schools that are affected. You have Benson Middle that's dropped below 150 students. You have Pritchard that is, slightly over 100. You have East Lynn that is slightly over 100. And those pressures are going to keep going. But, I was just looking at the student aid that we receive based upon the enrollment at Dunlow and Genoa. It's in the 300,000 range for both schools. It is the revenue that we receive on those buildings from the student populations. And the operating cost of the schools are 900,000 to $1 million. And so it's a losing proposition there. And, I would love to be able to just combine them. And that would put them, if every student from both schools attended one building, but they would still, be around that 100 mark. They would still be our smallest school combined. And, but the bottom line is we've got to get to the number, and it's been coming for several years. So we're just going to have to deal with it.
Did you have?
Even though the enrollment drops, our facilities don't get any smaller, or our faculty doesn't get any smaller.
Yeah.
Did anybody happen to listen to the Secretary of Education at national level today? Did you hear
No, I
her?
didn't hear it today.
They're starting the dismantling of the federal Department of Education, which is that's a wonderful thing because that's just a lot of bureaucracy. From the federal level, if my understanding was correct, that there's like $20,000 per student that is being allotted from a federal level to each student in Wayne County or in the United States.
Right.
And you look what we get by the time it gets to the school, to the Wayne County school system. Okay. What, about a fourth of that?
Roughly 7,000.
So they're roughly, we'll say,
I think it was
Okay.
it was 6,800.
so where's the rest of that at? I think we all know the answer to that. It's in administrative fees at those other levels. It needs to be in the classroom where those kids are, and I'll die on that hill.
Exactly. I mean,
One thing really gets kind of some off topic. The problems we got, and I look at some of our counties in this state are even bigger geographically with even fewer people. What are they going to be? They're going to be down to one school in their whole county?
Yep. That's exactly what it's going to.
Insane.
It's exactly the direction it's going, Randy.
Pocahontas, one high school, one middle school.
Now, they'll be able to jump across county lines if
One
it's
school.
like
K-12.
They better be,
where we border,
they better be good jumpers.
Right.
they can go across the county line. I mean, but,
I mean, this is, like you said, though, this is the hand that we are dealt.
mhm.
No one's going to change it or save us.
It doesn't look like it.
So timeline wise, December 9th is when I'll ask you to authorize me to put together the booklets and schedule the hearings so that there can be a, further discussion. And then we would be looking at late in January, having those hearings. We just have to wrap it up by the end of January. So I put a draft timeline in front of you. None of this is set in stone, but I just wanted to give you some rough dates of when we would do the advertisements in the newspaper. Would be early January. Would be looking at public hearings around January 22nd, 23rd. And then looking at a vote either at one of those hearings or at the regular board meeting on January 27th. And then we would submit the decision to the state after that.
I just think it's a crying shame that we can't get any help out of the legislature. It seems like they're more interested in private schools and charter schools. And then we'll have to close a couple of little schools in those communities, lose their identity. It breaks my heart, and I just don't understand it.
Let me just ask this, and I already know it, but just for the record, if we don't do this and we just go into a financial black hole, what eventually happens? The state takes us over, right?
Correct.
What happened in Roane County?
Yeah.
Roane County couldn't meet their payroll. And the state had to advance their funding so that they could meet their payroll. And then they've intervened there and they're closing down schools now.
So we don't get,
We'll have to do it. I
yeah, we
understand
don't
that.
get the choice at that
That's
point.
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's scary. They take that choice away from us, so.
We get to blame.
But I do want to say that, the 1.3 million in cuts that we've already identified are at every level. And
Exactly.
there's going to have to be another million in cuts that are identified.
Somewhere.
Everybody's going to be touched by it. So,
And we will be provided with the specifics of what these are whenever you put on there about
yeah,
administrative cuts and those things that you'll tell us what they are.
Yeah.
What people or whatnot they're
yeah,
affecting.
and that happens during RIF and transfer season. So
But is that after the fact of what we're going to have to deal with on the Genoa and Dunlow thing though?
yes.
Yeah, timelines are kind of crazy.
Be a fun spring, won't it?
So,
Any more questions?
no, that's just an ugly number that we have to get to.
Okay, that's all I have.
All right. No board directives or board reports this evening or unfinished business. We can move on to our new business and consent action items. The superintendent recommends approval of the following action items. Additional items received prior to the time of the meeting may be added. Discussion and/or separate action of items may be requested by members of the board and/or the superintendent. Items are subject to change. Any blanks will be filled in prior to the meeting. In the event a nominee withdraws, we reserve the right to put the next candidate in that position. Number 1, consider for approval the recommended personnel matters, pages 1 through 3.
Motion to approve as revised.
Second.
Motion to approve by Jonita, second by Mark, and this is a revised copy that we have.
Yeah, it's got the names filled in. The posting was because we moved this meeting up because of the Thanksgiving holiday. The posting was coming down, so
Gotcha.
we had quite a few blanks on which we normally don't have, but the names have been filled in for you.
Any questions, concerns? Discussion on the personnel matters? None heard. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 2, consider for approval the purchase requisition order and quotes in excess of $5,000 on pages 4 through 12.
Motion.
Motion by Randy,
Second.
second by Jonita. Questions, concerns?
Page 4 is HVAC for the special needs room down at Tulsa High School. We had to have a new unit put on there. Page 5 is the vehicle that we talked about last week.
Perfect.
That will be our last vehicle purchase. Page 6, we did get bids on fencing. This is for the playground at Wayne Elementary, where we did the new pre-K addition. And the pre-K playground is going in, so we have to have fencing around it. And then page 7 is the fencing for the Crum playground. That is new, and that was, I know they raised quite a bit of money to
Yeah.
get that playground put
I
in.
think Donna said they raised like $25,000. That's pretty impressive.
That's wonderful.
Page 8 is with the West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals. This is the appeals. This is the school-based probation officer. Portion of this is grant funded. Page 9 is parts, worldwide equipment, heritage. So this is a smaller PO. We broke those up. And then page 10 is Kenny Queen Hardware, maintenance supplies. Page 11 is technology that allows our technology department to access and put apps on the Promethean boards and to access and troubleshoot those Promethean boards remotely. That's funded through the technology department. Page 12, you purchased the vehicle earlier for the maintenance department that also had the hookup for the snow plow. This is the purchase of the snow plow itself.
Okay. All right. Any questions or concerns? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
This is after the fact, but is that snowplow and that truck going to be operational for this snow season?
This next week?
Yeah, like day after Thanksgiving.
Luckily, we're at least on break that week, so.
Yeah, that's good. But
That worked out. All right, new business, separate action items. Number 1, consider for approval the out-of-state travel request. Employee traveling to Olmsted Falls High School in Cleveland, Ohio, December 8th and 9th. And that's funded by Perkins CTE funds.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Jonita, second by Randy.
what's it for?
They're going to observe the we're looking at that Lean Six Sigma certification for our high school students. And there's a program operating at Olmsted Falls that has that certification up and running. And so Christy Booton with our internship program is going to go up and see how they've set that up to see if we can possibly replicate it.
Now, is that funded, says Perkins, what is that?
CTE funding,
So
Career
it's-
Technical Education
So it's
funding.
funded.
Yeah, so it's funding we received from the State Department for career tech.
I wish them a good trip. I had some of my colleagues were up in Cleveland and started a trial earlier this week. And they said when they rounded the sidewalk, the lake, it just about knocked them down the wind.
All right, all in favor then?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 2, consider for approval the snow removal proposal. I
And
think
now,
that's in our
yeah, the
packet.
snow bid proposal was in your separate attachments.
Yes.
And so we had bid out, we had the company out of Logan, Superior Pocahontas, that had bid the first time, and that was the only bid that we had received. So we had approved them for the Tulsa area. We rebid it, and we did receive a bid proposal from Rocky Knob Farm. This is Jason Eakers, who did the work last year. And he bid on the Spring Valley zone and the Wayne zone. Those are the two remaining zones. The Spring Valley zone is 120 per hour, not to exceed 7,000. So 7,000 was the cap on the event. Superior Pocahontas had bid 7,200 for the Spring Valley zone. The Wayne zone, he bid 7,000 on per event, a cap. And Superior Pocahontas had bid 6,400 on the Wayne zone. So what I would recommend to you is that we approve Rocky Knob Farm for the Spring Valley zone at the 7,000 cap per event, and that we use the snow plow that has been purchased this evening, and with some help from Superior Pocahontas with their lower bid on the Wayne zone, to take care of the Wayne zone as needed.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by John Egan, second by Mark. Any other questions or concerns?
It bothers me that we're going out of county again.
Where?
We just used to have our local people doing the Wayland.
We are.
Maybe you're gonna snowplow and everything now.
I think, Dennis, I think the plan is that we personally, our maintenance and transportation department will work the Wayne area.
We're just gonna approve the.
Yeah, we'll need some salting and things
Yeah.
like that. And
Sure.
if it's
Just maybe some assistance.
a heavy snow, it'll be too much for one plow. So Superior Pocahontas had the lower bid on that particular area.
But we had already approved them to help.
Yeah.
With the Wayne area as
within
needed.
any area.
Any
anyway.
area as needed.
Right. So we should be covered between a plow of our own and 2 other vendors.
That'll save us some money.
We should be in good shape.
Save that money.
I think you already realize that my goal is I want to see us taking care of all of it and letting our people have the opportunity to make that money or make the extra money. That's my long-term goal.
If we can afford the equipment to go along with it.
Right, but when we're looking at $8,000 for that plow, and we bought 2 new trucks, or relatively new trucks, so maybe we can get another plow later, and that's going to should completely take care of one zone.
Right.
Yeah.
We hope.
Problem is, we're talking about trying to come up with $2 or $3 million that we're gonna be over. It seems like we're gonna have some expenses there. I don't understand the savings.
Well, I hope it goes back to a few. I know
I'd
when we
like
first
to-
put this
yeah.
in place, we didn't use it for 3
I think I was
years.
on the board for
Well,
6 years before it even snowed.
It's
so.
pretty simple though. The savings is pretty simple. Whenever you own your own piece of equipment, it's a long-term investment. You don't, we may have to call out 2 times in 1 week for $7,000 when if we have our own equipment, we've already got it covered.
This, hopefully this will take care of us for the short term. So if there's.
Does it need additional personnel? Is that gonna be an expense?
It could be. It could be, it just depends on the situation. If school is closed down when things are getting cleared off, which is usually the case, then it would not be an additional expense because the central office would be open at that point anyway. The only time it would become an expense is the only time it would become an expense is if we had to do it in the evening or the weekend.
All right. Any other questions or concerns?
So all we're approving is for Rocky, whatever.
Yeah.
Rocky Knob Farm.
Spring Valley.
For $7,000.
For the Spring Valley zone, for the Spring Valley zone,
Right.
correct?
And Wayne, we're not doing anything.
Right. Okay.
Got it.
All right, everyone.
Pray for global warming.
Exactly. Let's hope for
Pretty weather.
better weather or better timing, one of the two.
Yeah.
All right. All in favor then?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No,
So, okay. So motion carries 4-1. Number 3, consider for approval the school mapping proposal for the critical response group at a total cost of $58,500, and this is grant funded.
This was part of your separate attachment as well. So this goes back to the legislation where we're required to do safety mapping of all of our school locations. And I had a chance to meet with this company. Mike Hart and I met with the critical response group, and this was the low bidder on the project. We did put out a request for a proposal on this.
Good. I was gonna ask that.
We received a number of bids. I think it was three or four different bids. CRG was the most cost efficient. And you remember that we're allowed to request money to help compensate us for getting this done. And their bid fell within, this won't cost us anything.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The grant should cover all of it.
That's fantastic.
And I know that they're doing, I saw a list of counties that they're doing at least probably a third of the state. But their process is pretty impressive. And the purpose of this is they're going to create these safety maps, and then they're going to be in the technological format that allows 911 and first responders to be able to access those maps through their systems. And as part of their proposal, they are going to do a planning activity once all the maps are completed, where we do a walkthrough table activity with our first responders to access and see how it would work if there was a real crisis.
That's fantastic.
And so there was a significant packet that I provided you as a separate attachment where you see them the services that they offer. And this should be completed. It'll be completed by the end of this year and likely sooner. And again,
didn't we map all that out last year? How come we're doing it again?
well, what we
I
did.
can talk to Sponge, but I don't refresh me.
Yeah, what we did is we take all of our, we have already as a county, we took all of our layouts, all of our specs for all of our buildings and provided those to 911, and 911 keeps those in their office to pull up in case there is an incident.
Do you think that was accurate?
That was a good move, but what this will do is this actually puts it in a technological format that they can access in their devices. So it will make it easier for them to access, and they will have it at all times. So it's not only just stored at the 911 office, but it's stored with every first responder that we have. So when they come in and do the tabletop exercise, they'll be working with our fire departments, the sheriff's department, the state police. They'll be working with everybody to make sure that everybody has access to these maps.
Okay, I'll go along with that since it'll make it safer for our personnel and our kids.
Yeah.
I like looking at the qualifications of key staff, you look at that and every one of them was in Army, Marines, a police veteran. It's pretty impressive.
Pretty good resumes. Yeah.
Well, and that's actually their, in meeting with them, that's how their company got started, is they've seen the effectiveness of these maps in military operations, and they saw a opportunity to provide these to school systems.
Yeah, and they're just not, I mean, not that just being just in the service, that's a lot, but I'm looking special operations, Purple Heart decorated Marine officer. I mean, on and on. It's like,
Impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
So
Motion to approve.
moved. It's okay. I'll second it. It's okay. I'll second it.
Was I thought Dennis was through.
So, Johnny, you made the motion.
Yes,
Mark,
I
you got the
did.
second?
But Mark can
Okay.
have it. I don't.
No, I'm fine. I'll second.
Sure?
Yep.
We're all on the same page. We're good. So, any other questions or concerns on the mapping project? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 4, consider for approval the Hilliard for gym floor refinishing at the total of $15,617.25
Yeah.
for the following schools. What?
I said, where's the separate attachment?
Oh,
We
I'm
didn't
sorry.
get it.
Is it not in your separate attachment?
No, that's what I was,
I kept looking.
I mean, I'm okay with it. It sounds fine, but
Well, let me explain.
Explain it.
Again, we got bids for this as well. It's gym floor refinishing, so we rotate the schools. We do one set 1 year, next year we do the remainder of the schools. So it's just our annual refinishing of the gym floors.
and that's the total.
We did bid it out. Yep, that's a total amount. So for those number of schools, this was the low bidder. Hilliard is they provide the supplies, and then they use a subcontractor to do the work in the schools. And we have checked into them, and they have done some good work. We did do, and let me say this, Vincent Middle should not be on here. We used another company for Vincent Middle. The company that installed, you remember a few years ago, we had to completely,
Redo
we
it.
didn't just we
Yeah,
refinished
finished
their
it.
floor. We completely refinished their floor, sanded it down and everything. So the company that did that, they went in and did the work at Vincent Middle. Their bid was slightly higher, just a few $100s higher, but they had already been in there and they did a good job. So we let them go back into Vincent Middle.
So we're looking at a total of 5 schools.
Yes, 5 schools.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Randy, second by Mark. Any other questions or concerns? None heard. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Potential items for a future agenda.
As I mentioned before, December 9th, I'll ask you to authorize me to prepare the impact statements and to schedule public hearings. Other than that, that's all I have.
Anyone else? No one?
Move to adjourn.
Thank you, Mark, or Randy?
Whoever you want.
I was gonna go down the line. I feel like
Yeah,
my mother.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Second? Anybody second, Mark? Thank you.
Spray water.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. It is 7:13. That is all, and thank you for joining us.
Yes. How many we had, Todd?
Right now, we've got 21. We're
Are you
20.
serious?
Thank you for joining us online.
Proud.
Thank you.
It was